All right. So my name is Alex Alford. I moved to Eugene, Oregon in 2015 for the one-year challenge mission team and helped start the church. And I stayed until April of 2021, so this year.
So what inspired you initially to go on the mission team?
I had just recently graduated college, and I knew that this time in my life, this time in between school and focusing on full-time career was going to be the most free period I'm ever going to have in my life. So I knew, okay, if I'm going to follow Jesus, if I want to make my life about him for the rest of my life, and I'm going to want to devote this free time in my life to him and his kingdom. So the one-year challenge mission team seemed like the perfect way to do that.
Was any part of it for you exploring ministry?
Yeah, definitely. A big aspect that Kelly provided with this Eugene mission team is a lot of opportunities for ministry training, to learn ministry, to really see, okay, is full-time ministry something for me? Is this the life I want full-time?
How did your experience in Eugene impact your faith?
Moving to Eugene made my faith more real to me. It's one thing to make Jesus Lord in the town you grew up in, where you're already comfortable, where you already kind of know how life's supposed to work, and you can adjust your life to make Jesus Lord. But when you move to an entirely different part of the country, with completely different people, with completely different culture, practically having to start a whole new life. It's kind of like being pushed out of the nest. It's kind of like having to step out into the real world. It strengthened my faith tremendously and made it more authentic, I would say. Yeah, and so how would I describe my experience in Eugene? I think I would say it was two things. It was really hard, but it's also really, really fun. I think hard because you are stretched a lot, and you have to grow a lot very quickly. You have to learn to do things in a completely different way than you've done them your entire Christian life. Your blind spots get exposed immediately, and you find out there's things you need to correct about yourself, ways you need to grow in that you weren't aware of before. And you have to step up in ways you probably didn't have to in your church back at home, because there's just so many more needs in this small church and this small mission team. But the fun definitely outweighed the hard. Getting to live in a brother's household with brothers of just like completely different personalities from all across the country, getting to go on campus every day, getting to connect with students, getting to go to Bible talk, getting to go on family building adventures on the weekend. It was honestly the most fun few years I had in my entire life. I honestly, when I was there, I kind of described it as feeling like we were part of a sitcom show, like Parks and Rec or Community or something like that. Just being able to have these day-to-day adventures of trying to build a ministry, trying to build a church, never knowing what the next day is going to hold, and just being able to have this period of my life, like not worried about school, not worried about career, just focused on building up the kingdom and the adventures involved in that. Looking back on that, it's almost surreal.
Well, and what did God help you learn on the mission team?
So much. Definitely humility, confidence, gentleness, and tact. How I present myself, how I'm perceived. I think everyone has blind spots, and when you become a disciple, the people around you help point out your blind spots and in the areas you need to grow. But when you live in a place for a long time, even the people around you start not being able to see your blind spots as well, or just become so used to different aspects of your character, they don't really notice them or point them out. But when you move to an entirely different place on a mission team, those blind spots you didn't even know you had get exposed. And so you learn a lot about yourself and you grow a lot.
What would you tell somebody who's thinking about joining the mission team?
I think the most important thing is to come with a mindset ready to serve, ready to give and not to receive. As much as you're going to grow, as much as you're going to take a lot out of this experience. The point isn't necessarily what you're going to take out of it, but what you can give, how you can serve, how you can contribute to the mission team and make it better. And and knowing the importance of keeping this mindset every day that you're there. If you have that mindset, then yeah, you're ready to join a mission team. I would say that, and also just be ready to embrace people very different from yourself. On a mission team, we're all coming together from wildly different backgrounds, wildly different church cultures, and so everyone's going to be used to doing things a lot different than the way that you're used to. So just come ready to embrace that, embrace the differences, embrace change, and yeah.
Maybe how would you describe Eugene, the city itself, in the environment here, or campus, or U of O, whatever?
I think people in Oregon, I would say Pacific Northwest, but particularly in Oregon, are super friendly and kind. So just be ready for an authenticity you might not be might not be used to. Definitely, I wasn't used to living in Florida. So that's a nice thing. But also, there's it's a much more progressive and liberal culture. So there's a lot of there ready for a lot less people interested in church or the Bible or God. Be ready to really be prepared to answer, when people challenge your faith, because there are going to be people that challenge, people that are genuinely opposed and are vehemently opposed. Be ready to experience that pushback that you might not be used to.
How would you describe just the state and the beauty and
Oregon is by far the most beautiful place I've ever lived. There's mountains, waterfalls, there's the gorge, there's all these natural pools of water. If you like the outdoors, then this is his place for you. There's no shortage of outdoors adventures, hiking, camping, fishing, hunting, even climbing. There's just so much of the state is just revolves around doing things outdoors. And even if you don't consider yourself an outdoors person, this place will make you an outdoors person. One of my favorite stories is we had so many people that were just not about camping, not about the outdoors, but by the time they left, they were camping experts. They love to go on hikes. They love to do all these things because this place makes you fall in love with the outdoors, whether you're that kind of person or not.
Yeah, man. Abby came here hating camping and a vegetarian.
Uh-huh.
And we fixed both those things.
Yeah.
She left loving the outdoors and eating bacon. So I consider that a success.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Disclaimer: anyone watching, there's plenty of vegetarians. You don't have to give that up, but just be ready to be ready to not want to leave. Like I said in my intro, I was here from 2015 to 2021, so I was here for a good 6 years. This place becomes your home, and it's a whole community is just very welcoming, very friendly. It's easy to get invested in the community here, and it just become your home. So depending on how you look at that, either say that as a caution or as inviting.
I mean, for all of us, it was we all came here on a 1-year challenge, but for most people, it was like a 2, 3, 4, 5-year challenge.
Yeah.
Just because people liked being here.
It's beautiful. The weather. Now I'm starting talking about Eugene. The weather's awesome. The summers are mild. The winters are mild. The tap water is drinkable. I'm from Florida. We don't have drinkable tap water down there. You don't need to buy bottled water. That's amazing. There's just so many things to just gush about Oregon, man. It's just a great place.
Man, we went to the Midwest for the memorial, and I just went to get some water out of the faucet, and I was like, oh, what is this?
I'm not in Oregon anymore. Can't drink this water.
Yeah, dude, good water here. That's a good point.